Let's settle this once and for all. Are you a hunter or a farmer? When you know how to properly care for your crops, they will be greener and better looking than everyone else's. Differences in behaviors between Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3 employees indicate employees' varying efforts to try to gratify or cope with their different unfulfilled needs. Needs are the platform. The more needs can be gratified, the more stable is the platform. Standing, juggling, or doing anything on a wobbly platform is undoubtedly hard, and no one desires that. 3 secrets to getting what you want without lifting a finger. Secret number 1. Make people feel understood. Making people feel understood is the key to all successful communications. Before you go further in any communication, stop and make a point, or all the points, if the stake is high, to show your understanding through appreciation, acknowledgement, and/or acceptance towards your audience. Secret number 2. Give people a compelling reason. Once people feel understood, they are much more open to what you'll say next. Next, give them a compelling reason on why you want them to take your desired action, especially when you try to ask for help or persuade for a change in action. Understandably, people have a strong desire to know why they are needed before expending their energy and resources. Secret number 3. Tell people exactly what you want them to do. When your reason is compelling enough and with the aid of the word because, people are all ears. Now, all you have left to do is telling people exactly what you want them to do. When you sense a task is not progressing fast enough, you can nudge it by gauging for how much input employees may need from you. Then you apply the Inspire, Influence, Instruct model. Becoming a trustworthy person is a must when you take on the responsibility of managing, training, and developing employees. Without trust, your communicating effort becomes 100 times harder than it should be. Although making sacrifices is the fastest way to build trust, it might not yield you immediate comfort, convenience, and gratification. That is why most can't do it. It takes certain characteristics and qualities for someone to forego short-term benefits for long-term ones. Because you are a manager, the 3 qualities you should develop are humility, inclusivity, and courage. The more successful and powerful you become, the more inclusive you have to be. Not only do you have to be inclusive with everyone, but also with any other creature and plant on this planet. As humans, we have the capability to live a conscious life. Living consciously means thinking through all possible consequences of our actions and only moving ahead if we are okay with every single one of them. It means we accept full responsibility for the results of our actions and we don't complain. Not only is it sustainable to our planet, but it also is a more sensible way for everyone to work and live. When you are not looking to manage employees, but just to see how you can include, embrace, and appreciate their differences, you become more tolerant and flexible, which, in turn, makes your team more resilient and agile. To assemble a superior team, you need high-performing employees. How many? The more the better. You might not have started out with high-performing employees, but you, being a phenomenal institute, took matter into your own hands and proactively transformed ordinary employees into extraordinary ones. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now your whole team freaking here. To get here, you have spent a good amount of time and effort into the transformation process and probably working on a weekend like usual. Today, your team is far more superior and running like a well-oiled machine. Can you finally sit back and relax? If you do, will your employees regress? Will we be back to the bottom? Well, regardless, it is just not possible for you to always be around. There will be days when you can't be present because you need to take time off to replenish, to take care of yourself, and enjoy time with your family. So what do? Have you ever wondered how your town's water tower works? Water is a constant necessity of life. Delivering safe, clean water to every home in town with almost no downtime is a monumental task that requires webs of infrastructure. Treated water is distributed through a complex system of pipes and pumps. During normal hours, a pump has no problem meeting water demands. Around 6 a.m. in the morning and 7 p.m. in the evening, water demands peak due to everyone's similar morning and evening routines. During these peak morning and evening hours, water demand can be 5 times the average daily demand. So instead of one pump, we would need 5 pumps or one big pump that can do the job of 5. In addition, we would have to constantly cycle a pump on and off to meet the varying demands, increasing wear and tear on equipment. Because pumps are expensive, so to increase efficiency and save cost, an elevated storage tank or a water tower is built. In the nighttime and during typical working hours, water demands are minimal. A pump has no trouble meeting the demands. During these off-peak hours, a pump is left on to pump additional water into a water tower for storage. During peak hours, stored water is released from high to low elevation to meet the increase in water demand, so no extra pumps are needed. Storing water on higher ground during off-peak hours ensures everyone in town always has sufficient clean water at the right pressure without overworking the pump. You're the pump. Similarly, for everyone on your team, your leadership and inspiration are always in demand, especially after you've lifted them out of need-based behaviors. Now your job is to keep them inspired at all time. During normal business hours, you have no problem meeting employees' leadership and inspiration demand. During stress time and out of office time, leadership and inspiration demand peaks and can be 5 times the normal demand. So instead of 1 of you, we would need 5 of you. The problem is, there is no 5 of you. So unless you want to do the job of 5, you need to build a reserve. How to build a reserve? Fundamentally, employees are humans. During difficult time, even the most inspired ones want to quit. When you are out of office, pre-transformed and uninspired employees can certainly slack off. These are very normal human behaviors. To get your team through stress time and to get them to perform well even when you're not around, you must earn their respect. Only out of respect for you, they will do the right things. When time is hard, when they don't feel an ounce of inspiration, and when you are out of office. To earn employees' respect, there is no other way but leading by example. Leading by example means you do what you want your employees to do. You have integrity. What you think, say, and do are all in congruence with one another. You are consistent in your effort of saying what you mean and doing what you say you'll do. A leader must lead by example, because when you are a living role model that employees can look up to, zero management is needed. When employees respect you immensely, a reserve can be built. You can think of it as goodwill, which you can never have too much of. And if you don't constantly replenish it, it will run out. So during normal time, you seek every opportunity to gain as much trust and respect as you can. Making sacrifices to gain trust and leading by example to gain respect add to the reserve of goodwill. When your reserve is full to the brim during stressful times and out of office times, you can count on employees to stay and do the right things out of trust and respect for you. Having a reserve of goodwill full to the brim is what single-handedly distinguishes a superior team from a mediocre one. The unnecessary struggle. Your life as a manager will be significantly more challenging when you don't have the trust and respect of your employees. You and your team will both struggle because nothing you say will get through to your employees. As the result, they will only do the bare minimum to bide time. Loyalty and camaraderie are low to non-existent, creating high work dissatisfaction, which leads to stress, frustration, depression, and worse, resentment. Working every day to maintain, improve, and innovate your organization's products and services to compete with outside forces is already hard enough. There is no need for the unnecessary struggle within teams. Nonetheless, if you're willing to make some small tweaks in the way you see and communicate with employees, you can have them cooperate with little friction and resistance, take pride and ownership in their works, think of possible ways to improve and innovate, work well under pressure and with minimal supervision, drive things on their own, offer to take tasks and projects off your plate, become loyal, committed, and supportive to you. Open up. Remember, no one wants to be managed, but longs to be included. When you lead by example, let your employees see the examples you set here and there. Of course, this is not to say that you would only lead by example when they're watching, but to be open to employees about some of your other core responsibilities from time to time. Why? Sometimes employees don't take full ownership for their work like you want them to, because they assume it is solely your responsibility as their manager to shield them from being accountable. If you put yourself in a pre-transformed employee's shoe, you can see it is easy to make this kind of assumption. Therefore, whenever you can, open up and let them know that you need their help by setting example and let them see it. He or she will win, whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. The Art of War, Sun Tzu. This is the end of the Build a Reserve training. You now have all the building blocks to start building your own superior team. In the final training, the game plan, we will piece everything together to give you a complete, cohesive, step-by-step action plan of what to do. When you are ready, click Next to get started on your last training, the game plan.